stuck in the void. Help me. Help me. Why am I stuck in the void? Oh, my boobs are jiggling. Wait. Okay. Alright, there you go. There you go. That was some fan service, as they say. Some fan service for my spider titties. They were tittying. I think you're the only person here today, Hyperbovian. I think everybody's on holiday. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I won't share the revelation that I discovered today. I won't share the revelation that I had. I'll wait till everybody's here to share something with the class that I thought about, a discovery I made with my own brain. I'm very clever. I'm very clever like that. So now you don't get to know. Yeah. I don't know. Look, I'll wait 20 minutes. If no one rocks up, my microphone is a bit off today. Probably. I'm very off today, though. I'm incredibly sick. Like, if no one rocks up in like the next 20 minutes, I'm just gonna go. Just gonna go to bed because I am feeling awful. Unplug it and plug it back in. Okay. All right, Mr. IT crowd. I will unplug it and plug it back in. I'm probably gonna unplug the wrong thing though, and like just turn off my computer. I'll hear on the VOD. It's not. It's definitely the device. Oh. Plugged it back in. Is it better? Is it better? I'm doing my best, guys. Doing my best. And by guys, I mean Hyperbovian. I'm doing my best, Hyperbovian. Yeah, I got a feeling not many people are gonna rock up today, and that's okay because I don't particularly, I'm not feeling particularly great. So that's, you know, that's fine. It's been a struggle. I've had like mad estrogen headaches, hormonal migraines, if you will. It's been a challenge and I haven't enjoyed it. So, you know, we need Moses to come and part the Red Sea, if you get my fucking drift. It's a struggle. It's a struggle in my uterus. It's a struggle on the streets. It's a horror movie in my pants. I shouldn't say that. That's so gross. Anyway, it's highly unpleasant. And that's the gist of it, really. All right, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Let's get... Hello, Bailey. Nice to see you. It's been a day today. Boop. Let's watch some spooky stories where I stop the video and say snarky stuff.
Welcome to the tape library.
Not the tape library.
Quick introduction to what this video is because it's a little different to our normal episodes. Once every few months, I like to create a long-form video of real-life paranormal stories.
Why do English people say mumps instead of months? Do I say Tuesday? Yeah, I say Tuesday. I say Tuesday. I say VTuber. I say... What else do I say? I don't know. I have an Australian accent, so I pronounce things in an Australian way. Hello, Ricochet. Tends to be how it works. But British people say months, like there's a P in the word month. Or like they have that disease, that illness, mumps. One of my friends got pregnant because this guy told her he was infertile because he had mumps when he was a kid, and she ended up pregnant. Some weirdo from Perth or something, and then she had to move to Perth. Rest in peace, love. I don't know. Just don't let random dudes spoofing you, I guess, is the takeaway. Is the takeaway from that? Look, I am so proud of myself for never experiencing teen pregnancy. Let's just say I am way past my teen years, and I still feel like if I got pregnant today, I would be like, oh no, I don't want to be a teen mom, because I just have it in my head that like that like if I get pregnant, it's gonna be the end of the world, and like that's I could be like 40 and married, and I would be like, oh no, I'm a teen mom. Oh shit, what will the community think? And that weighs heavily on me. I don't know, it just does. It just does. All right. Let's watch this silly guy that can't say months properly. He says mumps in it. I'm British in it. Oi.
Because I know so many of you enjoy falling asleep listening to these. Usually this is simply a compilation of the stories I featured over the last few months.
Ooh.
But tonight is different. Since this community has started to grow so quickly, I've been sent dozens of your personal encounters. So every single story in this video will be brand new. Because these videos are designed to be relaxing, there won't be the usual visuals or music. It's a much more dialed back experience. When the stories end, I'll keep the ambient noise going for a little while longer, but I'll leave a chapter at the end, so those who aren't sleeping know when the stories are finished. There will be one short ad break after this intro.
Not the ad break.
The remainder of the video, and then after that the remainder of the video will be ad free. Because of that, I'd really love it if you could support the channel just by quickly hitting the like button before we get started. Or if you feel extra generous, then please leave a comment below as well. It really helps me reach more and more people on this site.
I will say, I haven't had my period in 9 months. Do you think I'm pregnant?
Should I leave? With the next episode, which is the case, I think.
Should I leave? Should I leave a comment that says I haven't been pregnant. I haven't had my period in 9 months. Do you think I could be pregnant? Should I leave that comment? No? Does that duck mean no or yes? Hyperbovian. Should I leave it? Pregnant. Should I? He said to leave a comment. I haven't had my period in 9 months. Do you think I could be pregnant? I think that's the correct spelling. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm writing. Can you guys see what I'm writing? Let me move myself over. You guys need to get this. Can you see that? My comment. All right, I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it, guys. This is my comment that I'm leaving. I said, I haven't had my period in 9 months. Do you think I could be pregnant? Comment. Why is that so funny to me? Oh my god. I am a child. I am a child. I will never stop. I can't. All right. Let's go. Oh god, sorry. I don't know why that was so funny to me. I need help. I need a lot of mental help. I will say that.
All requested more than any other. Okay, so let's get into this. Dim the lights and get yourself comfortable.
Ooh.
I want you to take a moment to picture this scene with me. You wake up a little dazed and confused. You must...
So me every morning. Every morning I wake up dazed and confused. Let's be honest. That is my life. That is my life experience.
have fallen asleep, but you don't remember where you were when you did. Your eyes blink into life, and you realise you're in a room of some kind. Alone. Wait. There's a window. It's dark out, but you can tell the world outside is moving. This isn't a room. It's a train carriage. An old-fashioned train carriage at that.
Ooh.
Lit by gas lamps and old decor, much like you imagine a fancy steam train would have looked like back in the day.
Ooh.
Suddenly there is a knock at the door of your private room.
Oh no, it's Billy Corgan in the Ava Adore film clip. It's you that I adore. You'll always be my whore. Is anybody else getting Billy Corgan in the Ava Adore film clip? I'm totally. By the way, that was my slutty dancing in the club song when I was a young gothic gal. That's what I liked. That's what I like to get down to.
Doesn't wait for you to respond. In walks a strange-looking, pale, thin man in a dark suit and hat, holding a briefcase. He sits in front of you, grinning, an unnaturally creepy grin, as he opens the case and pulls out a series of papers. The man informs you he is a paranormal investigator. You accept this, but something about him makes you uncomfortable. Like he isn't quite there. Like he is merely attempting to portray himself as human. The man informs you that you are going to be sharing this overnight train for at least the next few hours, and he would like to tell you about some of the cases he is currently working on. You agree to this purely because something inside you tells you.
I find him kind of hot. He can be my sleep paralysis demon anyway. Ooh, any day. I'm into it. Hello, creepy man. I don't know. This is definitely like a callback to like my Billy Corgan high school crush. Ooh. If you look like this, guys, hit me up. Look, people have said that I'm hot, so you know, hit me up. This is the man that I'm looking for. Please impregnate me. Impregnante me. I would like that. Let's have little gothic babies together. Wow. I'm into it.
That you don't have a choice. The man smiles that unnatural smile once again, and then glances down at his page to read Case 0.
Ooh, we're starting at 0.
For some background, this happened.
Also a Smashing Pumpkins song. Coincidence?
I was living in a small little area known as Bow in Washington. My home was almost directly off of Interstate 5. You would exit the I-5 and turn left past what was a fish market, and is now nothing more than an empty lot. You would...
Yeah, Uncle Fester's pretty fucking hot, not gonna lie. He can, When you were little, you had a lot of underground ghost train dreams. Ooh. The ghost train at Luna Park in Sydney is really haunted by ghosts because I think in the 70s it caught on fire and a bunch of people died there. So if you go on the ghost train, there's real ghosts. The more you know with Pandadora. Do. Meow.
Pass by woods and a single sad-looking home on the right. That home was mine. Most cars pass by my house at 90 miles an hour, We often
Ooh.
had strange people stop at our home in the middle of the night to ask for directions, or pee in our yard. Yeah, it was and still is weird. The house was less than 800 square feet and in rough condition.
Why can't they just do a cheeky bushwee like Australians? At least we find like a tree in a park, or like, you know, if you live in the actual bush, you just go and have a wee. I don't even know the amount of times that I've like just just had a wee behind a tree in the park. Look, sometimes you know, you don't want to hold it in. You could get a UTI, okay? You don't want to hold it in. You have to get it out. It's the full night. The full moon is out tonight, guys. The full moon is out tonight. So,
For example, I have vivid memories of watching mice run across the floor in front of me while I lay on my belly playing with my toys. I lived there with my parents. My mother, who is 5 feet and 3.5 inches tall. And this is
oddly
relevant, I swear.
specific.
My father, who is 6 feet 4 inches tall. My elder sister, who at the time was around the height of my mother, but was far bigger than she was. My mother grew up malnourished her whole life, and as a result can't keep weight on to save her soul. She spent most of her life wearing...
Holy shit, his mummy's me. That's the same story with me. I grew up malnourished, but I'm 5'4". Guys, is this story about me? Is that why Billy Corgan was on the train at the beginning? Am I going to find out? Are they going to show a photo and it's me? Holy shit. Is this going to be one of those plot twists? Uh-oh. Did I just accidentally click on the video of my future? I don't know. I'm kind of freaked out.
only 90 pounds. This is also relevant later in the story. I also lived with my little brother. We lived in the middle of nowhere, to the extent that seeing cougars in our backyard was
Ooh.
normal.
Older ladies looking for some younger fellas. I know he means the animal, but I'm just imagining some like drunk cougars coming home from the bar to piss in his yard.
At the time this story took place, I was maybe 7 years old. I shared a room with my little brother. The room had bunk beds that were placed directly before the bedroom door. This looked out into a very short hallway of maybe 4 feet. I was sleeping on the bottom bunk and woke up in the middle of the night. I rolled over, and for no reason I can recall now, I looked up and out the door to the hallway.
Hey Dango, what's up? What's crack-a-lacking?
I saw a dark, completely dark, figure leaning casually against the wall just outside my bedroom door. I distinctly recall feeling amused and laughing because the figure was rail thin, short, and had on a cowboy hat. The arms were crossed over the chest and the figure had the leg closest to me braced against the wall behind him. I was convinced it was my mother trying to play a game. I giggled and asked what she was doing. I don't remember my exact words at the time, but I do remember calling out, "Mummy," and inquiring as to if this was a game or something. The figure's head turned to me. But again, my memory gives no features. Just pitch blackness. Which should have been scary, but for whatever reason, I was convinced this was my mother. Then one arm came up, and a single finger pressed to what should have been lips in the shushing gesture. I laughed again, but lay back down and went to sleep obediently. In hindsight, we are lucky this wasn't a kidnapper or murder or something.
Delta, you missed all my good jokes. You missed all my good jokes. I left a comment on this video. I left a comment on this video saying, because this guy that the video that we're watching, he says mumps as mumps. So I left a comment saying, I left a comment saying, I haven't had my period in 9 months. Could I be pregnante? And that's the comment that I left. So thank you. I am very, very funny. I am very funny. But yeah, Delta's here. Yay.
Because I was a seriously stupid child. The next morning at breakfast, I asked my mother about the game she was playing. She was confused. I explained what I had seen and she continued to look at me uncomprehendingly. I proceeded to drag her to the hallway and pose for her. I was seriously annoyed that she wasn't explaining. I knew she had a cowboy hat. I played with it all the time, so I was convinced it had been her. However, my mother insisted it hadn't been her.
Men in chat, is it hot if a girl dresses up as a cowgirl? Is that hot? Is that something that men like? Because cowboys are kind of hot.
Now, neither my father nor sister could have done it. The figure was too thin and small to be them. And my brother was still only 5 years old or so. My mum said I must have been dreaming and left it at that. However, just after I turned 10 or so, we moved out of the state. For reasons I'd rather not get into, my sister stayed behind in the house. About a year after we moved, my mother got a panicked phone call late in the evening. My sister, having returned to her old family home after work, had walked into the house to find a strange, small, thin man in a cowboy hat standing in the kitchen. She ran out to her car and drove to the nearest neighbour's house to call the police. She then called my mother. The strangest part was the police never found anyone. The house had been locked when my sister returned home, and there were no signs of forced entry, nor a break-in. My sister swears she saw no car near the house when she arrived. After this, my sister refused to stay in the home and moved out. Later, my mother recounted to me that my sister has always been sensitive, and had even seen and spoken to her dead mother as a small child.
Oh God.
My sister is adopted, by the way. She also mentioned that the old man who had built the home on the land that my parents bought had, according to what they had been told, been very fond of wearing cowboy hats.
Hot. Were they hot?
The house has since been torn down after a fire broke out on the property. Case 1. This took place around 2000 in Guildford, Surrey. I rented a small house there with my now ex-wife, probably built in the late 18th or early 19th century. The first strange thing we noticed was in the kitchen. Sometimes if we were in there doing something, and we were to leave for a few minutes, we'd return to find things had moved. This happened to both of us, and at first we both just assumed it was the other, or we had done it ourselves and forgotten about it. But it happened enough times that we slowly became convinced that these things were moving on their own. It was never terribly dramatic like what you see in the movies. Most often it would be dishes moved into or near the sink. Bowls, plates, cups.
Imagine if the ghost did the dishes for you. I would volunteer to have them haunt my house. I hate dishes. I hate them. They're disgusting. They're gross. I don't want to touch things. I don't want to put my hands in the warm water. It's disgusting. I don't want to load the dishwasher. That is shit. Why can't the dishwasher load itself? Is it really easier if I have to fucking rinse plates and stack a dishwasher? No. I say that, but my lovely housemate usually does that. So I'm pretty lucky because they know I'm just tired and sick most of the time. So they are very good at more than carrying their weight around the house because I'm just kind of not healthy. So we like that.
Mugs, glasses, etc. Always neatly stacked or placed, and never anything broken. In the end, it felt like we were being cleaned up after. On a few occasions, I did a little test when my ex-wife wasn't home. I deliberately left a cutting board and knife on the dining table just to see. Nothing happened for a while until one day, having set up my little trap, and left for maybe 10 minutes or so, I came back and there it was, next to the sink. I remember clearly the surreal, vaguely sinking feeling of realising it wasn't our imagination at all. This was real and I didn't have an explanation. I didn't repeat the test after that. Then there was the stairs. Sitting on the couch in the living room, you could see the staircase out of the corner of your eye. and at night both of us would very frequently see movement on the stairs. It happened often enough that it would interrupt us watching TV, and became a bit of an annoyance. The most significant incident for me though, was one day while I was putting away dishes. The kitchen was at the back of the house with a door leading in to the living room at the front. The stairs were just through the door and on the left, and turned 90 degrees before ascending.
Uh-oh.
I remember I picked up a plate off the dish rack and was drying it off. And as I turned to face the doorway, I very clearly saw a woman walk past and go up the stairs. She had dark shoulder-length hair and was wearing a long black skirt and a white
Ooh.
long-sleeve blouse.
At least she wasn't wearing a
She
white
looked enough
dress.
like my ex-wife that at first I thought it was her, and for a couple of seconds was wondering why she was dressed that way, when my ex-wife suddenly walked into the kitchen from the living room.
Wait, so he lives with
I was
his
stunned
ex?
as I realised
What's
it couldn't possibly
happening?
have been her.
Black dress is a new one.
said
No,
to
a
her,
black skirt and
"Just seen you go
a white
upstairs."
blouse. It's a
Before running
new
up
ghost
after.
combo.
Ready to confront whatever I now assumed must be an intruder. I searched every room, under the beds, in the wardrobes. Nothing. The woman had vanished. This wasn't a ghostly apparition or some semi-transparent shape. It was a solid person. She was moving briskly and sort of jogged up the stairs, like she had just forgotten something, and was rushing to fetch it. It definitely freaked me out a bit because, again, it wasn't some shadow or shape I saw out the corner of my eye. I was directly facing her, and by the time she was on the stairs I was looking right at her. Though by then she was facing away from me, so I didn't see her face. The final incident in that house happened in the early hours. I remember waking up and checking the clock, seeing that it was just after 3 AM. And as I rolled over, I happened to glance out the bedroom door and down the hallway. There I saw a ball of light, about the size of a football, or soccer ball for the Americans. Light blue in
Ooh.
colour, at the top of the stairs.
As
It
you
moved down the
do.
hallway at around chest height to the bedroom door, before disappearing. It appeared free-floating. It didn't reflect off anything, and didn't seem to illuminate the space at all either. I stayed there awake until
Did he nuke it? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, so I will say this again next time when like pseudo-mastics and stuff, people like that are around. But I was thinking a lot about Chloe. That ghost at the pub on Flinders Street, and her Brazilian. And then I thought, you know what? You know why maybe she wouldn't have any pubic hair? Because of crabs, okay? Because of pubic lice. Now, hear me out. Apparently, pubic lice are basically all but extinct because most millennial women and Generation Z women, you know, get Brazilians or they shave their pubic hair. And so it's not, you know, transmitted the way it used to be. Think back to those days, right? If you were like a sex worker, would you have pubic hair? Imagine all the like, yeah, I was thinking about that. That's my conclusion. Yeah. You read the model for the photo, ended up unaliving herself? Yeah, I think that's why she's a ghost. I think that's why she's haunting. I think that's why she's haunting the pub, right? Because she offed herself there. Anyway, that's just my theory.
till dawn, feeling perplexed, looking down the hallway and around the room for a source for this strange light. When I finally got up, I spent quite some time trying to find some way to rationally explain what I had seen. All of the curtains were drawn, and as much as I tried, I just couldn't work it out. All of this occurred within a 6-month period before the house was sold and we had to move out. I've never had anything like that happen before or since, just in that one house. While the things we experienced were unsettling, we were never really scared. The house didn't feel bad or foreboding. It was still a nice little house, and we were sad to have to go. I was a pretty strong skeptic before living there. But the experiences I had in that house have left me much more open to the idea that maybe there's more to all of this than we see. Case 2. So I want to preface this by saying I was born and raised in one of the oldest cities in the US. It has a lot of history, and the paranormal has always been a part of it here. Almost all the big old plantation houses have ghost stories that almost all the locals know. I only say all this to explain that I was sort of raised to believe in the paranormal world. So my personal experience comes from when I was in my teens. I was definitely not a well-behaved teenager, and this night was no different. It was the summer of 2008.
I too was not a well-behaved teenager. Shout out to all the teenage delinquents. We do love to see it. Like, if you're gonna be a delinquent, do it when you're a teenager, and then become a productive member of society later on. A lot of ghosty. What?
18, if I remember correctly. And my friends and I were driving a few miles outside of town, smoking weed and just being hooligans. We were all from the area and were pretty familiar with the local legends. And one of those was the story of Joe Baldwin and the Mako Light. Our town was once a very large train stop along the now defunct Atlantic coastline.
The funkity funk.
The story goes that back in 1867, Joe was the flagman, guy who worked in the caboose, and was on a train heading for town late one night.
How funky is your chicken? How funky is your chicken? As loose as a goose. As loose as a goose. I don't remember the rest of it. Something, shake your caboose. That's the Buffy movie from the 80s. Not the one with Sarah Michelle Gellar, but the one that like they based a TV series of. I don't know. Me and my friends always used to sing that when we were drunk. Because we are drunk bitches, and that's what we like to do. It's fun. It's fun! I recommend it 10 out of 10. Oh, I want to rewatch Buffy. That show was fun. It's probably shit now, but I want to watch it.
Caboose somehow became detached from the rest of the train. Shortly after, there was another train that was coming into town, and Joe, trying to alert the crew and get them to stop the train, grabs his lantern and starts waving it from the back of the caboose. But the crew never saw him, so hit the caboose at full speed, decapitating Joe in the process. So now every night, along the stretch of track a few miles outside of town, you can see a lone light, swaying, back and forth, back and forth.
Ooh.
The unanimous verdict is that...
Because it's swinging back and forth, what if he's having a ghost wank? What if he's just jerking it off in the celestial realms? It's just, you know, the motion of the ocean, baby. You have to remember who you're addressing when there's multiple conversations going on. Oh, I'm not even reading the chat. I'm just off in my own world. Sorry, guys. I'm not paying any attention to you today. I have attention deficit disorder, okay? And it's ableist to discriminate against me, so I better not catch anyone in the chat doing that. You're gonna get in trouble. Shoot out that ectoplasm. Hell yeah, brother.
Joe is looking for his head. We didn't originally plan to come out to try and see it. Like I said earlier, we were just wanting to smoke and shoot off our guns in the woods. But after that mission was accomplished, on our way back home, one of my friends says, "Yo, we're out near where the Mako Light is, aren't we?" None of us had ever seen it before. And of course, when one of us said,
"You just walked into the stream and got hit with just jerking it?" Yeah, because apparently this ghost light just kind of like moves back and forth. So I said, what if the ghost man is actually, you know, just jerking his gherkin, and that's why That's why the light is moving back and forth, you know. He's just spraying his ectoplasm all over the joint. You know, you never know. It could be real. We just don't know. We just don't know. I, for one, want to believe. I want to believe in the ghost spoof. That would explain the moaning. It would. It would. That would explain the labored breathing and the moaning. Ghost lights do be doing that. They do. And the wet spot. Yeah, see, we have been sussing out everything. We have the answers to the universe, guys. We are the chosen ones. That's how it works.
I'm going. We all had to go. So after a short 5 to 10 minute drive, we arrived at the railroad tracks. They were no longer in use, so we just parked the car on them and all got out. We started walking towards the direction we had heard he comes from.
See, he comes from that direction, guys.
Screaming, Joe, Joe, where are you?
Joe, don't blow, Joe. Joe, don't blow. And then Joe goes, no, I'm coming from this direction. And then he blows. And that's the noise of his ectoplasm. I'm sorry, guys. I can't take anything seriously. I have issues. I have problems. I have, you know, it's, I don't know. You guys love me. What can I say? You guys find it amusing. I know you do. That's why you keep on coming back for more.
One of us fired our gun off. Just being ignorant arseholes. We were walking for about 15 minutes when we had collectively decided we're not going to see him and we're going to head back. Just a few minutes after we started walking back, I heard a, yo, fucking look. And sure enough, there it was. A lone bright yellow light, flickering in intensity and swinging back and forth. I was awestruck. We all must have been, because we were all silent as we just watched it for a minute. I never noticed the outline of any figure, just the light itself. Still, that was more than enough for me.
At this point, I can make anything sound kinky. Yeah, it is basically my sole personality trait at this point. It is basically... I don't know. I have like two modes, and that's like poo-poo wee-wee humor and sex humor. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much it.
So that's when I said, alright y'all, we should probably leave now. Naturally I was met with ridicule and called a pussy. But as it got closer I could tell their resolve was faltering too. So after a good few minutes with it getting closer to us, we started to walk away. A fast walk, mind you. Once back in the car, we kind of just took stock of the situation. One of my friends was taking videos to post about how we just saw Joe Baldwin, as well as being upset that he didn't get the light on video. We decided we had done enough adventuring for one night, and elected to go grab some Taco Bell and go home.
Taco Bell.
I'm 34 now, but this happened over 20 years ago when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
Writing this, it's actually really strange how many of the details I can remember, because I was only 7. Anyway, here's the story.
You weren't 7 months. Calm down. Sorry, mumps.
To Carolina to visit a retired World War II era warship that has been permanently docked there as a museum. The ship is called USS Yorktown. In the 90s, one of the big tourist traps was visiting this museum and staying aboard the ship overnight. And in 1995, that's what my Boy Scout troop did. We spent 4 days and 3 nights on the USS Yorktown. The adults spent the night in the officers' quarters, while the children slept in the racks, designed for the enlisted troops on their way to deployment. The biggest attraction on the ship to us children was this really cool flight simulator they let us play for free.
Oh, I love Flight Simulator.
We only guests there.
I always get confused between the sky and the ocean and just crash the plane. Because I'm a bimbo and I have no spatial awareness. I end up upside down. I end up in the ocean. It's, you know, let me fly your plane, guys, I guess is what I'm saying. I can't tell the difference between up and down, left and right. Who knows, where am I going? Should I ever be behind the wheel of a car? Probably not. Should I be allowed to walk down a hallway by myself? No, I'm probably going to walk into the wall and bruise myself. You know, can I fit through that doorway even though I'm incredibly skinny? No, I'll, When you were a kid, you used to reenact 9/11 with Flight Simulator. Of course you did, Pseudomastics. Fucking hell, mate. Fucking hell. Oh, Pseudomastics. I think I've been thinking about Chloe's Brazilian a lot lately, you know, as you do. And I worked it out. Do you want to hear my theory? Crabs. My theory is crabs, okay? Pubic lice, if you will. The ghost that has a Brazilian, the ghost on Flinders Street that has a Brazilian. Just listen, okay? I sometimes I think about things, okay? Pseudomastics, don't fucking judge me. I'm not beating the bisexual allegations. Look, if I wanted to be bisexual, I would have the hottest girlfriend in the world, okay? Look, I'm just not into scissoring all night. But anyway, I've been thinking about it a lot, right? Because Brazilians hurt with modern technology, okay? So I've been thinking about it a lot. Now, going back to like colonial era Melbourne, if she was like a sex worker, imagine how much pubic lice like crabs would have been around, right? Yeah, I think sex workers back then wouldn't have had a pubic hair, right? Because I was reading an article a few years ago and it was saying that like crabs aren't really a thing anymore because most millennial women and like Generation Z women, you know, they wax or they shave, so pubic lice doesn't really like spread anymore. It's not really a thing that people deal with, right? Because there's nowhere for them to hang out with. And then I thought, oh, if I was like a sex worker in the early days of like Melbourne settlement, that's you know, I would probably try and not have hair down there. Imagine having pubic lice. That would be so awful. Anyway, so I think that's why she had a Brazilian. And don't act like that's weird, Pseudomastics. It's a perfectly thing to hyperfixate on. It's a perfectly normal thing to think about. And I won't be shamed. I won't be shamed. I don't think she died from crabs though. Apparently she offed herself. And that's why her hairless vulvad ghost haunts that pub. There you go, guys.
The long weekend. I remember it was Memorial Day because I had just turned 7. My birthday is in May. All day we flew the simulated missions and had a blast. So we were unaware of the rumours going around with the troop leader's wife. However, after the first night, what happened to her, and later on to me, makes my hair stand up on end. The second day, the troop leader's wife left the ship and got a hotel room, and never came back on board for the rest of the trip. We heard that last night she had woken up to the sound of showers running. She got up to investigate and found every shower head was on, and the rest of the troop mum.
Hey Ozzy, how's the weather there? Let me open up my weather app and I will fucking tell you. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Have I been outside today? No. It is 15 degrees Celsius and it's cloudy with a low of 8 and a high of 15. Probably offed herself because the hair removal was so painful. Wax strips back then were probably just candle wax. Candle wax doesn't work on removing hair. She probably would have like melted sugar and done like a sugar wax. Because I think that's what they would have done. They would have done sugaring. Which like if you put that on when it's too hot, you're gonna get candle wax is just a kink thing. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't remove hair. Don't ask me how I know that. It's just, you know, just research. Just research, guys. Maybe tweezers? Oh my god, that would have been so time consuming. Jesus. Jesus Christ. I don't even think I'm flexible enough to tweeze my own flaps. That would be a laborious job. I'm not into that. use the word coochie pseudomastics. You thought Australia was hot? Yeah, well, it's still winter. We're still coming out of winter, so roast beef. That's so misogynistic. How dare. Ancient Greece, they used hot coals. Yeah, stay away. Everybody stay away from my vag. With your medieval torture devices. You're banning him for that? Don't worry. No, Pseudomastics is my best friend. I love Pseudomastics. He's a good guy. He's probably one of the few Queenslanders that I don't wish ill upon. So I mean, you know. Look, he might be from Queensland, but that's not his fault. Hello, Omar. It's not his fault. We love Pseudomastics. He's a good boy. He just wants to study philosophy and be a good boy, and we like that. We like that. He's not from Townsville. He's from Toowoomba. Leave him alone. No, you're not. Shut up, Pseudomastics. Shut up. I'm gonna come up there and get you.
...were sound asleep. It scared her so bad she left and never came back. On the second day we were told a story about an officer whose name I can't remember, that he had died in a tragic accident during training manoeuvres aboard that ship in the 1940s. What terrified us at this point was to learn the troop leader's wife had been assigned to his bed. She told us later she had a horrific nightmare that ended with the sound of running water. When she saw she wasn't dreaming about the showers, she bolted. I wasn't really buying it, but that's when it got weird for me. The last day we were there, I was a typical 7-year-old that's been cooped up on a warship for 3 days. My mum basically made me stay with her all day because I was being a nightmare. My mum had a headache, so she made me go with her to her bed in the officers' quarters so she could lay down. We got to the bed. She opened the 6-foot-tall locker next to her bed, threw her purse inside, threw a...
Dude, why do you need a 6-foot locker across your... why do you need a 6-foot locker next to your bed? Like, how long is it, love? What are you keeping in there? She definitely got the extra long one, didn't she? Jesus Christ, love. Jesus Christ. Go lick a cane tone Pseudomastics. That's a body locker for sure. Or maybe she's got one of those futuristic Japanese sex dolls. Maybe she's got one of those. Ooh. Ooh la la.
Colouring book at me and said, "Stay put." This is what I can't explain. I remember being 7, being upset that I couldn't play, and being extremely restless. I resigned myself to the fact I couldn't go anywhere anyway, so I sat down, leaned my back against the locker and started colouring. The next thing I know, my mum is waking me up. I'm not sure if I had a weird dream or not, but what is super weird is the showers were on again. Not all of them, just one. At first my mum accused me of trying to scare her, but then realised I was genuinely waking up from being asleep.
Oh.
I'm not sure how I even fell asleep, but that's not the strange thing.
Delta would fuck a robot, but not a doll. Delta, can you explain to me the logic behind that? I would fuck neither. That's so weird. I mean, not judging you just personally, I just would find that so weird. But also, I'm a woman, so I can just get dick whenever I want to, really. Bender from Futurama can get it. I'm not judging. I know men like have fleshlights and stuff like that. I just if I'm that, like, I don't know. Look, it's just unbelievably easy as a woman to just have someone. Like, if I literally texted any heterosexual guy in my phone right now and said, "Come around to my place now and bend me over," they would be like, "Hell yeah," and they would rock up. Like that's even ones that live like a 10-hour drive away. I think they would be hopping in their car right now. That's how thirsty men are, and that's how easy it is to get sex if you're a woman. So, you know. You can't wait till we all have cyberpunk tongues that can vibrate. Oh god. Robots can accidentally rip off your arm? Ooh.
My mum turned off the shower and said, let's go find my dad and my brother and get lunch. When she went to open the locker, we both got blasted in the face by the smell of Old Spice. My grandfather wears it, so we instantly recognised the smell. But what the hell? I was sleeping against that locker door. Nobody could have opened it without waking me up. And then the smell of the most common deodorant worn by men from that era. The final thing that really terrified me about the whole thing was this. My mum told me.
What, nothing? You're just gonna leave that one, huh? Leave what one? I'm not following. I'm not following what's going on. What's a weird flex? Go back 15 seconds and listen again? Oh, sure. I don't know. I was distracted. Sorry guys, my ADHD is like ADHD.
At first my mum accused me of trying to scare her, but then realised I was genuinely waking up from being asleep. I'm not sure how I even fell asleep, but that's not the strange thing. My mum turned off the shower and said, let's go find my dad and my brother and get lunch. When she went to open the locker, we both got blasted in the face by the smell of Old.
Yeah, he got blasted. Is that what I was supposed to laugh at? Was that what I was supposed to laugh at? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I kind of dissociated and stopped listening to the story. I was thinking about the sex robots. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about the sex robots.
Spice. My grandfather wears it, so we instantly recognise the smell. But what the hell? I was sleeping against that locker door. Nobody could have opened it without waking me up. And then the smell of the most common deodorant worn by men from that era. The final thing that really terrified me about the whole thing was this. My mum told me later that she had actually claimed the bed after the troop leader's wife had left. The bed she had was on the second bunk, and it was hard for her to get in it, so when the ground level bunk became available she took it. I hadn't realised it then, but I was sleeping up against the locker of the officer who had been killed in the accident. My mum was sleeping in his bed. To this day I've never been able to explain how the locker smelled like it had Old Spice in it, but when an hour earlier, when my mum put her purse in it, it didn't. Case 4. So me and my family are very spiritual, and most of my family members have some kind of third eye or whatever you call it. This means that we can sometimes see, hear, feel, and have contact with spirits or other entities. My sister was the only one who didn't really believe in demons or spirits. That being said, let me tell you a story that changed my sister's belief completely. It started when me and my family went on holiday at a time when there were a lot of people at the resort. And I met quite a few people and had fun.
Ooh.
Everything was all fine and dandy at the resort and we enjoyed our time.
Not the dandy
When the time
resort.
came to go home, we packed up and got ready to leave.
As you do.
As we were packing the last bag into the car, a spider bit my sister. Luckily it wasn't a venomous one.
Oh no, she's gonna
But the
turn
bad
into
luck
Superman.
basically began the moment we were about to leave. The trip home was okay. However, we did see a really bad car accident that happened moments before we reached the location of it. And there was a decapitated body of a man lying in the road. After that, the trip continued pretty normal. We got home and took it easy.
There was just a decapitated man in the middle of the road. You can't just move on from that. What the fuck?
But the bad luck basically began the moment we were about to leave. The trip home was okay. However, we did see a really bad car accident that happened moments before we reached the location of it, and there was a decapitated body of a man lying in the road. After that, the trip continued pretty normal. We got home and took it easy. It was a Sunday evening and I got ready for bed, feeling like something was off, but I brushed it off as a feeling of not wanting to go back to work the next day.
Yeah, just casually, like, nothing like, oh, we had to stop, we had to call the cops because there was a dead body in the road. Just, you know, we just saw a dead body in the middle of the road with no head. Just, you know, a decapitated body. Like, that's just driving past, you know, someone else can deal with it. Like, that's the type of thing that would, like, scar you for the rest of your life. If you see an actual dead body, IRL, that shit stays with you, man.
In and out of sleep, like something didn't want me to get rest. So I was extremely tired the next day when I had to go to work. I was a waitress at this time, so I had to be there real early. This was the day everything started to show signs. When I got to work, I was notified that I won't be having my job for much longer because I had...
Yeah, Hyperbovian, that's 100% a trauma response. That's like, oh, I saw a dead body and I thought I could just ignore it. I saw a decapitated body.
...to close down due to my boss having some life-threatening disease. As the day went on, I met a lot of moody customers who really did not show any gratitude or even a smile. As I was carrying a tray to prepare some tables with salt and pepper shakers, I felt like I was bumped in a way, as if someone walked into me full force, but no one was there, and 3 shakers fell off and crashed and broke on the floor. It was really weird. I thought maybe I was imagining it. I just tripped.
Is he going to be a ghosty white with long black pubic hair? Maybe. Maybe. We don't want him to get crabs. Get rid of your pubic hair, son. Disgusting. Yeah, that's so weird that, like, crabs isn't an issue anymore. That's so weird. Let's bring back the Afro muff. Everybody grow out your pubic hair. They're lousy. Ooh, I get it. Lousy? Louse.
So I cleaned the mess and carried on with work. A few hours later, I went to clear a table for a customer so that I could bring his breakfast. And as soon as I picked up a coffee cup and saucer, the cup basically tipped off the saucer and hit the ground, breaking. At this point, I felt...
Look, men never wax their pubic hair, and they think like that's so good if they trim it. No, that's no effort. You should have to go in and get a back, sack, and crack wax. I demand it. Why are we just expected to be hairless, but you can go around with your, like... No, that's it. I demand equal rights. I will not. This is my new cause that I'm taking up. You don't trust lasers near your junk? I'm not talking about lasers, I'm talking about wax. Yeah, no guy does it. Yeah, that's my point. Do you know how much a fucking Brazilian hurts? It hurts so much. Ugh. I think lasers would hurt a lot less. I think lasers would hurt a lot less than wax.
Felt like the day was just really unlucky and acted a lot more careful. Very close to the end of the day, my colleague was tricked by a man confusing the hell out of me and her, and stole like triple the amount of money he actually should have paid us, and she got into a lot of trouble for it. But it definitely was not our fault. I just got over it and thought the day was a really bad one. I went home after work and my entire family was in a really bad mood, all grumpy, and they too had had a really bad day. So we had our dinner and basically went straight to bed after that without really conversing in any way. The night when I was in bed, I felt okay and could fall asleep easily. However, as soon as I fell asleep, I woke up in a kind of sleep paralysis, and something made some sort of growling, murmuring noise right next to the side of the bed I was sleeping.
Ooh, hot.
Suddenly I felt like something was going to snap at me or go at my face. I immediately woke up and wondered what it could have been. At this time, me and my sister shared a bed, so I looked over at her and asked if she had made the noise or heard.
This got very front page of Pornhub very fast. Jeez. More men would do it if they could get a happy ending included. Oh my goodness. So you're saying the Thai massage parlor should also do waxes? I mean, I could float that idea to them. I could float that idea.
Heard anything, but she was fast asleep, so I thought it was just a weird dream and went back to sleep. The next day everything was perfectly fine, no bad luck, nothing new, but everything seemed a lot more quiet and as if the world was grey but still had colour. It was a strange feeling. I got home from work and I just felt like I wasn't living in my own body, but I had control over it. So I went to bed early and fell asleep pretty easily. Now again, as soon as I fell asleep, I fell into sleep paralysis. And I heard that weird sound again from the night before.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
I also felt something grabbing my arm and pulling me off the side of the bed. But I couldn't move. I eventually snapped out of it, and when I did, I found myself in the exact position.
Wait, tell us a story of you getting a wax, Delta. I need to know this story. I need to know this lore. I need to know. OP gets traumatized and dissociates for the first time. Yeah, and thinks, no, Delta, please. I've never heard this from a man before. I need to understand. We're all friends here. We're all friends here. This is a safe place, guys. But yeah, this is just textbook trauma. This guy's never experienced trauma again. This is me all the time. I've dissociated like 4 times during this stream. And you know, we could keep on going. You don't like pubic hair, so you went and got it done. Oh, okay. I mean, fair enough. Oh, you got offered a happy ending. That's what you mean. Okay, I got you. Wow. Wow. I have never been offered to get finger blasted when I've gotten a Brazilian. So I guess they know their clientele. Wow.
That was dragged into off of the bed. Which then I freaked the hell out about because my sister next to me again was fast asleep. Talking in her sleep. I didn't hear what she said, but I basically got close to her, as far away from the edge of my side of the bed, and cuddled her for safety. I barely got any sleep that night because I felt like something was watching me the entire time. The third day was still normal after waking up. I told my dad, who was a priest at the time, about what happened that night. And he did some kind of prayer in the room.
Dad just also happens to be a priest. This is like when little kids are learning how to do like creative writing and they can't quite work out like a cohesive plot or like things that make sense. Like you saw a decapitated body, but you didn't stop. You didn't think, oh, we've got to call the police. Oh, by the way, my dad's a priest and I woke up and it was all a dream. Like this is like, you know, very bad, very bad creative writing. We haven't thought about cohesive, you know, cohesive plot holes, you know, having a logical chronological story. It's and his mum is a school teacher. Pseudomastics is gonna be a school teacher soon. Yay! Good job. I could never be a school teacher. I have so much school trauma. Going to school was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. I hated it. I hate teachers too. Not you, Pseudomastics. You're the only teacher that I like. I hate people that are teachers. I don't know.
Thinking it would help, because I thought it was just some kind of restless spirit who was in a bad place. Oh, how wrong we were. The day went by and the night time came.
I would would definitely get bullied by the other teachers if I was a teacher. Like, I could imagine all the dumb bitch female teachers bullying me. I could imagine that. I'm angry at these hypothetical people inside my head. Stupid bitch.
Everyone went to bed early, including me and my sister. I felt at ease, thinking the problem had gone, so I went to sleep. This time, as soon as I fell asleep, same as last. I fell into sleep paralysis, but I saw it. I literally saw a demon in front of me.
Ooh, was it hot?
In a glitchy way. It had no eyes, its mouth had no shape. It was just 3 voids on its face. It was pale, slightly shiny, but like misty. It did not look like a solid being, but I could feel it. I heard the same growls and murmuring. I closed my eyes hoping it would go away, but it just stood there moving weirdly. I tried this a few times, and after like the 4th time of closing my eyes and opening it again, it appeared on top of me. Like hovering above me, but lowering itself onto me, or more like...
Ooh.
Into me.
Wait. We're gonna have our first case of... It's not even a ghost, it's a demon root. We're gonna have a demon root. Low key, this is kind of hot though. I would sign up for this experience. If you're a hot demon out there, you have to be hot though. You have to be really hot. But I would sign up for this experience. Ooh.
It was the worst feeling I'd ever felt in my entire life.
Oh, he's not into it.
As its face came into contact with mine.
Ooh, did you make out?
To go black. And the more it went into me, it felt like my body was melting away. But the space it was trying to occupy felt like having really bad pins and needles. But also not being able to feel or move anything. Like my body was becoming a corpse at every inch it went into me.
Yeah, sometimes you have a dud root. That does happen. Sometimes you do feel like you're fucking a corpse, to be honest. We've all been there, right? We've all been there.
At this point I tried yelling so bad, trying to scare it or shake it off, but nothing came out. I just could not move. At the time all this was happening, to me and my paralysis, my sister was dreaming that she was in a pitch black room, completely void, except for a red phone on a little table. It rang and she approached it. As soon as she answered it, she heard the demon's voice saying, "I want Kira."
Ooh.
Then she immediately saw a vision of what was happening to me in my dreams. According to my sister, after seeing this, she woke up in fear, looked at me, and I was sitting straight up, with my eyes rolled back, shaking, as if I was having a seizure. As soon as she touched me to wake me up, I screamed so loud that the neighbours even came running.
Ooh.
I think when she touched me, it snapped me out of it, and I woke up immediately crying. And as I woke up, I remember hearing how badly I was screaming. Soon my entire family were in the room, looking like I was literally being killed. And I was just like, nope. I was speechless and couldn't even breathe properly, because I was so traumatized. I still felt like it was right there by me, and my dad realised it was following me, and not just lingering in the house. So my dad in a way had to exercise me. I had to drink a lot of sugar water because I was extremely fatigued after that. The exorcism didn't do anything weird like you see in the movies. It just basically lifted something spiritually suffocating from my body. I felt so relieved, as if some shadow that was inside me was being sent away. And I felt okay after that. I did not go back to sleep after that, and all of this happened either 15 minutes exactly before or after 3 AM. So I was just chilling watching TV till the sun came up. I called in sick at work and napped during the day, and finally had a peaceful time of sleep.
Thank you for following Sober Nice, man. Nice to see that you were sober and nice. Both nice and sober. What a combo. Where's the mummy ASMR? I mean, you can call me mummy if you want.
Sleep without being bothered. After my dad helped me out, I have not been bothered by this.
But you can't call me mommy. You have to call me mummy because we only use Australian English around here, and you will get spanked if you use American English. And let's be honest, you probably want to be spanked, don't you? We all know. We all know that's why you're here.
Thing again. But I remember its face and voice, and it is something no one can ever explain. Like there are no words that can actually describe it. My sister's memory of seeing it from our connected dream was in a way blanked out, because her mind was traumatized by it. And we never spoke about it again after that. To this day I now know what it feels like to be in the process of being possessed.
Ooh.
And when something really dark is following me or anyone else, it somehow made my third eye stronger.
You're violently gooning in a sad Motel 6 while crying and autoerotically asphyxiating yourself. Wow, that's a lot to be going on and still be able to type. Don't go all Michael Hutchins on us, bro. Don't accidentally kill yourself during the wank. Because then you'll be the ghost that died during a wank, you know? And it's kind of embarrassing. He's on voice to text. Too vanilla. That's too vanilla for Pseudomastics. Pseudomastics is into the real shit. Are there any ghosts at the Motel 6? Yeah, you might get a ghost gobby. You might get a ghost gobby, so sober nice, man. You know. Hold out for the ghost gobby. What are you guys into up in Queensland, Pseudomastics? Is this what all the cane toad hallucinogens do to you? Just like you're out in the cane fields, freaking doing God knows what. Disgusting behavior.
Anyway, I wish that no one has to experience this because of how terrifying it was. So just don't doubt what an
Ghosts would be shit at oral sex. Do you know where oral sex is first mentioned in the Kama Sutra and like ancient Indian texts? It's been around for a long time. They were 100% giving gobbies in the 1800s. I've read smut from the 1800s and they were giving gobbies, Pseudomastics. I'm here, if you ever time travel, I'm here to give you the good news that you can get a gobby. It might come with a side of syphilis and antibiotics aren't invented yet, but that's a bridge you can cross when you get there. And look, a lot of the girls might not have teeth, so you know, it might be an experience. Just saying.
An entity from another realm can do, because it's a lot stronger than you think, especially if you give it permission. Case 5. I wanted to share my story with you.
A CIA black site couldn't get your kinks out of you. I could get your kinks out of you in like 10 minutes. Okay, I could get your kinks out of you in 10 minutes. And now we know that you're into weird stuff, which makes me want to know even more. I'm into having missionary sex with my socks on. That's what gets me off, guys. Just so you know. Just so you know.
I do have many paranormal stories, but this one caused me fear.
What do you think, Delta? Do you think that's a joke, or do you think I was serious? Come on.
So please bear with me. When I was a very young girl, my family, mum, dad and younger sister, lived with my great-grandma. In order to visualise my great-grandma's house, I'll quickly describe it to you. It was built sometime between the 1880s and 1890s. When you walked through the front door, you were in the living room, and my great-grandma's bedroom was off to the right. Walking forward, you'll find yourself in the dining room, with a half bathroom off to the right, and about 4 feet from the bathroom was my...
Let's speculate on Pseudomastics. He's from Queensland, we know that much. We know he's a philosophy student, so he probably thinks a lot. He's probably always like hyper-analyzing things. He's probably got a lot of inventor frustrations. What do we... Let's profile him. What do we... What do we think he would be into? I have some ideas that I think would be spot on, but I don't want to say. I don't want to say, because... I don't want to embarrass him. But I'm pretty good at profiling people. I will say I have some inclinations. I have some inclinations on what he might be into.
My younger sister's bedroom. Again, walking forward, you'll be in the kitchen, and there were stairs leading up to the attic, and there was a trap door underneath the stairs, which led into the basement. Beyond the kitchen was the old sunroom, which became my bedroom. My parents slept in the basement. As you walked down the stairs which led to the basement, there was the old coal storing room, which became a storage room for our toys. Going towards the left, there was a washer and dryer.
Felix? I don't know how to say French names. But anyway, a former president of France died in 1899 from a stroke in office while receiving a gobby. There you go, Pseudomastic. So you could have gotten a gobby in 1899. Damn. Delicious behavior. What a way to go. Yeah.
A small sink, and a full-sized bathroom on the left.
It gave him a stroke, so you knew it was good. Yeah, that's a case of when you nut, but she keep on sucking. That is definitely a case of when you nut, but she keeps on sucking.
Walking forward, there was this small area in which my parents had a couch, love seat, and off to the left is where they slept. In my bedroom, there was an oak dresser, my mum's old Singer sewing machine, a chair, a metal cabinet that held my great-grandma's sharp knives, meat tenderizer, pots and pans.
Oh, the meat tenderizer. The old meat tenderizer, hey? Mm-hmm.
Radiator. My sister's and my nice clothes were hanging up, which was above the chair. There was a back door that led to the backyard, which had wooden stairs. It was around my birthday in 1975, and my parents asked what I wanted to do, and I said to go out to eat and a movie at the drive-in theatre. Now my parents knew I absolutely loved horror movies, and they had gotten the newspaper to see what movie was playing and at what time. They had seen that the movie The Exorcist was going to be playing.
Oh no, I hate that movie. I hate that movie, I'm scared.
So off we went to grab something to eat, then drive to the drive-in theatre. The movie was going to be played at 7:45 PM. We get to the theatre at around 7 that night, and my sister and myself went to go and play with the swings and seesaw that the theatre provided. We played for about 30 minutes and then my mum called us to get to the car. My mum, sister and myself had gone to grab some popcorn, candy and sodas. Then the previews began. I was so excited to be watching a scary movie with my family. Halfway through the movie, my sister announces that she had to use the bathroom, so my mum took us. And as I was getting out of the car, my dad had said, "You two better listen to your mother, or the devil is going to reach through the ground and snatch you."
Uh-oh. Why would you say that?
We returned back to the car and my sister had fallen asleep, and my mum had covered my eyes, because it was during the scene in which Reagan was using a crucifix on herself.
Oh, I remember that
My mum
scene.
thought it was highly inappropriate for me to see.
It's incredibly inappropriate for a child to see. I can't even believe they filmed those scenes, because I think Linda Blair, the girl that played the main character, the girl that's possessed, I think she was really young as well. Dude, they used to do some fucked up shitty movies back in the day. Jeez.
The movie ended about 10 and it took us some time to get out of the drive-in theatre and drive almost 45 minutes home. When we arrived home, we brushed our teeth, put our pyjamas on, said our prayers, then told my mum that we loved her, and off to dreamland we went. It was pretty late when I began hearing things move around my bedroom. I kept reciting the Lord's Prayer in order to protect myself. I quickly fell into a deep sleep, and before I knew it, my mum was waking us up. My mum screamed for my dad to grab his leather belt because she was going to beat my ass because my bedroom was destroyed. Thank God my great-grandma made her think before she reacted. Here's a description of what had happened. The oak dresser that was about an inch away from my bed was now 2 feet from my bed. My mum's Singer sewing machine was dragged out to the middle of the floor. Our clothes that were hung up were now all over the floor. My great-grandma's dog...
You never got the belt as a kid? It was a wooden spoon. Yeah, my babushka had a drawer of wooden spoons because she used to break them on our asses. And then she would just get out another one. And we were like, Jesus Christ, they just keep on coming. Oh, so we know Pseudomastix has a spanking fetish now. We know that he either likes to be a spanker or a spanky. That comes from a childhood of being spanked. See, I'm profiling you, Pseudomastix. Definitely not. Neither one. You don't like spanking? You never see a nice ass and go, I'd like to spank that. You never see a nice shapely female bum and go, ooh, spank.
Streets were strewn all over the bedroom. The porcelain figure of the Blessed Virgin Mary's head was snapped off. The cross made from palm leaves was turned upside down.
Uh-oh.
A photo of Jesus had a huge scratch across it. And my great-grandma's sharp butcher's knife was lying on my pillow with the sharp edge towards my face. My great-grandma told my mum there was no way I could have done all that, and I didn't wake anyone up. My mum thought about it and agreed. My mum and myself cleaned up my bedroom, and she just held me close to her. I could feel her shaking. For the very first time I noticed that my mum was scared for me. Things continued to happen to me as I grew up. And I do have many more paranormal stories to share.
Metal bit or not? Metal bit of what? Metal bit of what? I dissociated again. Sorry guys, what's happening? Where are we? What are we doing? Who am I? What day of the week is it? I have many questions. I have many questions. Somebody get me back on track.
If you want to hear them.
Oh, Ricochet's comment. Okay. But not because you got spanked when you were a kid. That's just because some ass need to be spanked. That is true. I agree. I agree with that sentiment. Yeah. I did end up actually reading chat, and I did work that out. I do have the ability to like comprehend written language. It's just a lot of the time I just I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Look, it's hard out here in my brain. I have not slept in like 3 nights, and I'm incredibly overtired. I'm incredibly I don't know. It's just how it is.
I am from the deep south in the US, and I've heard ghost stories my whole life. Maybe it's the way I look, old southern woman that I am, but people just open up to me about their ghost stories.
Also, I knew pseudomastics like to spank bitches. I knew it. That's such a philosophy student thing. Don't ask me how I know. I just do, from no personal experience. Just, you know, something that I just worked out for myself by guessing.
Maybe it's because they know on some instinctive level I will understand and not judge them as crazy or delusional. I am a true believer in the other side. Here is something that might be considered paranormal or...
Did I watch the ghost pregnancy video you linked the other day? Yeah, but I didn't think you were going to be in chat, so I didn't load it up. But we can watch it after this. I'll just finish this ghost story and then we'll watch that. I actually pre-watched that video because it was fucking funny. It was fucking funny. I'm into it.
At least strange. There was a time in my life when paranormal things seemed to swarm around me. I was a young girl of about 10. And I had a series of precognitive dreams. I sat down one day and decided I would try to remember the very first memory I ever had in my young life. I scrolled through memories over the years. I can remember them from a very early age, and I know these memories are real. I've told my mother about these memories, and she's confirmed they were right. This is the memory I had. I was riding in the back of a large car and looked out the window to my left. Across the city street was a tall building with 3 peaked arches carved into the architecture of the building. It was cold, raining, dark, and 3 figures stood in front of the building under a porch that was supported by thick rods that hung from the building.
Ooh.
A set of plate glass doors shone lights into the street behind the figures, which I took to be men who wore long coats and fedora-type hats, like they were waiting for a bus or something. I looked forward and saw a sheet of white. The next memory was of sitting in the back of a pickup with a bunch of other kids. I could see the back of a neck and curve of a shoulder of a short-haired woman through the truck's back window. Suddenly a car approached, coming through the intersection at us, and I yelled at the other kids to sit down. The next memory is of a baby floating away from me into a field of stars. Now, these memories may be uninteresting in themselves.
You just rejoined. Why are we talking about ghost pregnancy? Because sometimes those ghosts be knocking people up, apparently. Apparently, there's an epidemic of ghosts, you know, just ejaculating in human, alive, corporeal women and leaving their nasty little ghost babies behind. They're not paying child support. Oh, we should make an episode of Jerry Springer. My ghost baby daddy ain't paying child support. Let's do it. Jerry. I think Jerry Springer died recently. Oh my god. Rest in peace, bro. He was a real one. Sorry. This is what it's like inside my brain at all times. I really need to be medicated for ADHD, actually. Jerry Springer can still host. Good point. Good point. We're having a ghost show, so you can actually, you know, mediate between the realm of the living and the realm. You were not the incubus. Yeah.
Selves. But I had them before I was born. How do I know that? The very next memory I have is of a very blurry blue vase, full of yellow flowers sitting on a table in a bright room. When I told my mother about this memory, she said my father had bought her a blue vase full of yellow chrysanthemums the day I was born. The reason why my memory is blurry is because newborns can't see very well. Second memory, the one where I was sitting in the back of the truck, happened when I was 11. My family recently moved to North Alabama from Florida. And we were staying with my grandma.
Alabama.
My aunt and family lived in the street over from my grandma.
Where the skies are so blue.
Back in those days, in the early 70s, people didn't pay much attention to a truckload of little kids. Everybody's kids rode around in the back of pickup trucks.
Utes. They're called utes. Thank you.
My brother's sisters.
We invented them and we say they're called utes, so they're called utes. Thank you. Let's... Oh, the weird Gooner guy's gone. Or did you guys ban him? He thought he could come in here and freak me out, but I freaked him out. He left. I was too kinky for him. You didn't ban him. He came in here and thought he would like talk about like... Because I think most female Twitch streamers would be like, I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, nah, I'm going to out-freak this dude. I'm going to out-freak this little pervert.
cousins, about 7 of us, were in the back of the truck. I was
What happened? Some Kuma came in and told us about how he was jacking it off at Hotel 6 and he wanted me to do mommy ASMR. And I said, yeah, you can call me mommy. But you have to spell it with a U because we only use Australian English in this chat. But you can call me mummy if you want.
I was the oldest of the lot and sat behind my aunt. Looking through the glass, my memory of before I was born came to me. I yelled at the littler kids to sit down. I was scared we'd be hit and we'd go flying out the truck. I heard screeching tyres behind me, braced myself, and saw a car had run the lights and nearly hit us. I don't think my heart had ever pounded so hard. What the other two dreams mean I can't really say. The first though reminds me of how men dressed in the 30s or 40s. The shapes of the coats and hats are like the fashion of that time. Maybe this is a memory of before this life. I was born in the late 50s. And the other I can only...
What if he overdid it and choked to death? Well, I told him not to go all Michael Hutchins from In Excess. If he did, it's his own fault. Oh, and also the guy from Kill Bill, he also died like that. There'd be a lot of guys doing that in hotel rooms and dying. I was going to say something and overshare, and then I decided not to. Look, that's what we call growth. That's what we call growth. I was going to overshare with the... with the chat, and then I decided not to. So I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it because it's a secret about my sex life. How does it feel to be Australian? How does it feel to live in the best country on earth? Pretty fucking sick, mate. Pretty fucking sick. No, I don't do the choking. I don't do the choking pseudomastics. I do not do the choking.
Any guess what that one may mean? I wonder, has anyone else in the world had memories before birth?
It's never occurred to me to choke somebody during intercourse. Although, however, it has occurred to people to choke me. So that's all I'm saying. You'll have to disagree with that. Australia isn't that good. Oh, our feelings are very hurt. Our feelings are very, very hurt. Some internet man doesn't like our country. If you're American, we're very glad that you don't like our country because we don't like you and we don't want you here. So please don't visit. I wonder if anyone has ever had an anaphylaxis fetish and they trigger an allergy to try and finish before they need an EpiPen. Rushing the clock. Will my throat close or will I come? We don't know. We don't know, guys.
I've tried to look up information online, but it deals more with reincarnation. Thank you all for your time and energy. I appreciate it. Case 7.
Whose ass is vanilla? Whose ass is vanilla? My ass is pretty pale. Does that count as vanilla? It's pretty pale. It definitely has not seen the sun. What's the choking about? Is it drug substitute? What do you mean? When I say choke, I mean like, I don't mean like choke. I mean like a little bit of pressure on the throat when like you're fully going at it. It can be enjoyable. I'll just say that. I've said too much. I think because I have a really long neck, so when guys see my neck, they just like want to give it a little squeeze, but I'm talking about with one hand and like light pressure, not anything extreme. I would punch someone in the face if they did that. Look, I'm not against a little bit of like light spanking, a little bit of light choking, anything beyond that of like, I don't want to die. Please don't hurt me. That doesn't turn me on.
For a little bit of backstory, I'm an extremely socially awkward teen who never really fit in anywhere. Because of this, I ended up bonding with my family's pet cat. This story is related to one of the said cats.
Don't tell me to stop, Delta. Please stop being disgusted by my sexuality, okay? This is the year 2025, and a woman is allowed to like what she likes, okay? How dare you? How dare you?
That cat being named Shadow. So this happened about 3-ish months ago at this point. One night I was home alone when
I said I didn't want to say too much, and then I said everything. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. I just trust you guys so much. Now that I shared, everyone else has to share. I thought I liked guys telling me what to do. Yeah, sometimes that's hot. Sometimes you might get in trouble. It depends. Sometimes I'll be very into it, and sometimes I will not be. You just never know what you're gonna get with me. I'm just like a box of chocolates. White chocolates.
I heard one of the cats throwing up. When I found the source of the sound, it was our oldest cat, Shadow. But unlike other times,
I'm not a switch. That's just called being normal. Oh my god, why do people have to like label everything? That's just called how normal people have sex. Oh my god. You guys are all such virgins. Fuck me.
Tommy fell to his side and was howling. I will spare you the worst parts of this event, but my father ended up coming home and taking him to the vets. After a couple of tests were done, we were called in to come back to the vet office. It turned out that Shadow had lung cancer.
No, Shadow!
To other parts of his body.
No, I don't like this. Is Shadow a cat? I wasn't listening. I assume so. I don't like this.
Sadly, that night.
Dude, I'm just assuming how old everybody is in the chat, but your generation is so porn brain. All you see is like categories of porn and think that everybody has to like fall into a kink or whatever. Look, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're kind of toey, but you kind of don't have energy. You're kind of still half asleep and you just kind of go for it like without really moving. Other times, you know, you're feeling a bit more adventurous. Other times you're not. It's just called being a normal human who just goes with whatever is happening. It's like, it's not, there aren't assigned roles. You people are weird. Oh my god.
Night, we had to say goodbye to him. After all that's happened, I was a wreck.
Every morning, well, it depends. It depends. I'm not good. I'm not. Look. Sometimes. No, I'm not. I'm giving away too much information about myself. But my point is, stop being weird. Learn how people have sex, how normal people have sex. There's no freaking, I'm a this, I'm a that. Just put your genitals together and go at it. It's not that hard, really, okay?
I couldn't focus on anything. I was like a zombie just stumbling about. Shadow, the cat, had been in my life since I was born. It wasn't until a few days later where I had an experience, which I believe was him. I apologise for having to add so much detail, but here is the actual event. I was in the kitchen filling a cup of water. I hated being in that room because that was the room where everything had happened. As I finished filling my cup, I turned and, as bright as day, I saw Shadow walk out of the room. He started right where it happened, and he walked out the doorway leading to the garage. And as I saw him, my eyes watered up because there was no mistaking him for the other cats.
Aww.
He had a unique look to his tail. It always
baby
was bent
cat.
Slightly downwards when he walked.
I had a ghost experience with my baby cat that died a few years ago, Nightshade. I had a ghost experience with my baby cat. Can you send me a long DM, but don't read it till after the stream? Ooh, okay. Sure.
But the very end hooked upwards. I know I saw his tail. I think that was him showing me that he was happy and is moving on.
Aww.
Ever since that day, the grey cloud over my head lifted, and I was able to move on and return to normalcy. I just wanted to share my story with someone who is used to ghost stories, because around where I'm from, most people don't believe in the supernatural. Case 8.
I think I've profiled pseudomastics very well, though. Let's just say I think I have. I've known some philosophy graduates in my time. Let me tell you. I'm just saying. Look, sometimes people are cliches, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes people are cliches, and that's okay. That's why we like them. What's the kitten story? Oh, so I had this cat for 18 years who I loved more than anything. She was my little black cat called Nightshade, and she was with me for like all the important things in my life, all of my milestones. She was my little best friend, my little familiar spirit, if you will. She was she was a goth girl's best friend. And she got really sick because she was 18 and she was old. I had to take her to the vet. I spent like $3,000 trying to save her. We left her at the vet overnight. We went back the next morning. We were talking to the vet, and the vet was like, well, you can take her home and she might like have another 6 weeks if we put her on this medication, yada, yada, yada. And then I was like, well, what's her quality of life going to be like? And he was like, well, not very good. And then like, I was crying like a psycho. Like, you've never seen someone sob the way I was sobbing. So I just decided to put her down. They'd drained her lungs and her like the fluid around her heart and all of that. So she was comfortable, and she had the drip in her arm already. And the vet the vet passed her to me, and I like held her, and they gave her the needle to put her to sleep. And then like I just held her while she died. It was the saddest thing ever in my entire life. And I was just sobbing. I actually sobbed for like 6 months. Like every day I just full on sobbed. And I think if I had cried any longer, like I would have ended up in a psych ward. Because I was like, this cat growing up was like the only thing I had in my life that was good. in my household, like it was the only thing that I had that was like not shit. And anyway, like 2 weeks after she died, I woke up like in the morning, and I felt her jump on my tummy, and I was like, oh, okay. And she walks up to me, and she's like all healthy. She's all happy. She comes for a cuddle. So I could feel her purring. She was warm. I could feel her purring. I put my arms around her, and then I fell asleep. And then I woke up again, like, because my alarm went off. I woke up again, and I was like, oh, where's like, I expected her to be there, right? Because I'd fallen asleep with her in my arms, and then I remembered that she died. Anyway, I don't know if it was like just a dream trying to comfort me, but like I could feel the weight of her. I could feel her purrs. Like, I don't know. But if any cat was going to come back from the other side to see their mummy, it definitely would have been Nightshade. She was the best girl. She was the best girl. I can't remember what the video is called. It's not letting me find it. Where we be at? I have to go into the Discord and find the thing. Hang on. Your dog did that. He wanted you to know he was happy. Oh, I hope. Yeah, I do want to believe that it's like. I do want to believe that it's a real experience and that it's like not just our subconscious trying to comfort us. But I don't know. I don't know. I just yeah, it's I forgot how to do stuff. What would it be? Under society, culture, your mom, stream react suggestions. Meow, 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 meow. Slept with a ghost. There we go. Nope, not yet. People who slept with ghosts. Why can't I find it? Oh, thank you.
It's midnight. You're feeling kind of lonely, so you check the notifications on all of your miserable dating apps. And you got nothing, and your Instagram DMs are just as dry. So you ask yourself, how did they do this before they had the internet? You consider the old school way. You go to the bar and chat up the lusty barfly. You know, the one with the, I used to be in bitches. I used to be in bitches. Okay, that almost sounded more like Cobra Commander. I was once a man. Well, you know, you're just not up to her standards. So you go home alone. But all hope is not lost. Because maybe when you get home, you're not alone. Gooners beware. You're in for a scare. Because it's time to fuck a ghost.
There's a story in the book, it's hard to ask it, about you having sex with a ghost.
Oh boy, yeah, but this was at a time when I was filming Ghostbusters.
Spectrophilia, also known as phasmophilia, is when a person is attracted to a ghost. These encounters could be as innocent as those between Wendy and Casper the Friendly Ghost, or they can take a darker, more possessive turn. For today's episode of Tales from the Internet, we take a look at some people who've gone on record as having had sexual relations with ghosts. This video is sponsored by Helix. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding custom fit to your needs and shipped straight to your door, with free shipping in the US. Everyone sleeps differently, so Helix has you take a sleep quiz to determine which of their 20
I don't want to sleep better. I want to sleep bad.
They also offer a 100 nights of sleep trial. For all the parents watching this, you know it's our completely devoid Labor Day sale. Just go to helixsleep.com/wang to take advantage of this. The idea of sex with ghosts.
Keep your wang to yourself. See what I did that? Keep your wang to yourself. And hopefully the ghosts will keep their wangs to themselves. And everyone can only get wang when it's consensual, enthusiastically consented to. Thank you. That's what we advocate for on the Pandora stream. Consensual wang. Oh, in Singapore, there was a restaurant called Heavenly Wang, and I thought it was so funny, and I took a photo of the sign, and I sent it to all my friends. I was like, hey, look what I'm having for lunch. Some Heavenly Wang. Pseudomastics thinks consent is sexy. There you go, guys. There you go. That's another one of his... I'm just joking.
Ghosts isn't something new. Ghosts are the perfect companions. They're dead, so they got no bills to pay, and they have all the time in the world. All eternity. So it should be no surprise that a lot of celebrities' encounters with ghosts are described in quirky or charming ways. Lucy Liu's ghost just wanted to watch her sleep. Kesha said her experience was funny and erotic. But then, you got Miley Cyrus, who had a ghost that was watching her shower. That wouldn't be a bad concept for a new Porky's movie. They're all dead, but they're still like frat boy ghosts. In a 2004 interview for FHM magazine, Anna Nicole Smith described ghost sex as initially unsettling, but ultimately amazing. It was so good that she just continued to let it happen. And this theme of amazing sex repeats often in ghost encounters. And it's not something that just the rich and famous can experience. In 2017, a 26-year-old London woman named Sian Jameson bought a cottage in Wales, specifically in a town called Aberystwyth.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Consent kicks are the healthy type. Consent kicks are the healthy kind. They are. They are. Consent is very important, kids. I'm I'm a dickhead and I'll muck around, but yeah. Obviously, make sure your partner is enthusiastically consenting. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
Aberystwyth. Having just gotten out of a long-term relationship, everywhere in London reminded her of her ex, so she had to get away. She said that the new scenery was making her feel inspired. Working as a freelance writer, she was more productive than ever before, and found that despite the drastic change from the hustle and bustle of London, going out to the Welsh countryside, she found that she actually wasn't missing anything. And also, she was enjoying the freedom of single life. She told Wales Online, "I enjoyed the peace. After a long relationship, being on my own was quite exhilarating. I started to wonder whether I'd ever want a man in my life again." She also noticed that the previous owner of the cottage left behind several books and paintings, and one in particular got her attention. Dated 1820, it depicted what she described as a handsome young man.
Ooh. She want that 1800s ghost dick. Yeah, girl, get it. Get it.
And after moving to the cottage, she was starting to have increasingly intense sex dreams. So intense that she'd wake up thinking she was still in a relationship, then remember she's single now. But then one morning, after having lived there for several months, she wakes up and notices a dark-haired, good-looking man in bed next to her. He's fully clothed in a white shirt, scarf, and old-timey breeches.
I'm kind of into this, not gonna lie. I would let him chuck one in me. He looks like he might have been hot.
At first, she thinks she's still dreaming. But then she realizes, in the words of Harry Mason, this is not a dream. As I faced the wall, I slowly realized I wasn't asleep, and suddenly, I was frozen with fear. I felt a hand on my waist, but the touch was strange, light and cool. She soon realized that this was the man from the painting. He was very gentle and stroked my body tenderly. During the lovemaking, I sensed all kinds of things about him. His name, Robert.
What if he was wearing one of those old-timey onesies with the arse flap? I don't know, that's kind of hot.
And when he lived over 100 years ago. We didn't speak. It was as if he was communicating with me telepathically. His body was soft and light. Even when he moved on top of me, pressing down, he felt almost weightless. It was very strange, but the sex was amazing. I was totally perplexed about what had happened. In fact, I started to wonder whether it had happened at all. That morning, she would follow Robert around her home until he faded out of existence before her very eyes. But Robert would return from the spirit world.
You know what that's called? That's called a sex dream. That is called a sex dream. You were frothing over this guy, so your brain gave you a sex dream. Because you're hard up, lady, so your brain was like, look, I'm going to give you an orgasm while you're asleep. That's what happens. That's what happens.
To dog her out one more time. It was nighttime, and I was just drifting off to sleep. All of a sudden, the duvet slid off me, and I could feel a cool hand running up my thigh. Under my nightshirt. I sobbed after he left that night. She confesses. I guess I had fallen in love.
Guys, don't cry after sex. It's very, very uncomfortable for the person that you're having sex with. Don't unless you just got married or something, or I don't know. Look, there are maybe some exceptions where you could cry after sex, but if it's the first time that you've had sex with somebody, And, you know, maybe you're a little bit out of the guys' league. Don't like cry because you're grateful that they gave you a pity root. It's a very don't do that, okay? I'm just saying. Don't do that.
Tried to go online and see what she could find out about the painting. But aside from finding another 19th century painting that sort of looked like him, she couldn't find much. After she told her friends about this, they thought she was insane. And as of the publishing of that story, she was now dating a man who was alive. Imagine if during this relationship, Robert comes back and this dude gets cucked by a ghost. It sounds like the concept of a fucking Quan Mills book. Wales Online spoke to a psychotherapist who said that this was likely a product of the transition from sleep to wakefulness causing hallucinations, especially since she'd seemingly been going through some intense emotions following the breakup. But G.L. Davies, the author of a book entitled Ghost Sex: The Violation, had other ideas. No one knows what motivates ghosts to have sex with the living. Are we like lab rats to them? Is there some kind of battle for our souls?
Because they're feeling toey and there's no other ghosts around, so they have to make do with disgusting meat suits.
Are these ghosts demons trying to break us? Who knows? And then you got Mel Magazine asking an important question. Is ghost dick good? In this article, they interview Patty Negri, an author and psychic. When these boned up spirits are good, they're great. Everything is heightened. It sometimes happens to women who are afraid of intimacy and want to try dating, Negri told Newsweek. Which I guess on some level seems kind of contradictory. Like, oh yeah, you got this natural biological process that's responsible for all of us being here. That's too scary. But you know what's not scary? A fucking glowing monster cock. A lot of these women describe themselves as asexual, or that sex doesn't really a big interest to them, or
yeah, they're sexually frustrated, which is why they're fucking having sex dreams. That's what freaking happens, okay? When you're hard up, or you've been single for a while, or you're in between relationships, sometimes your subconscious is like, this bitch needs to orgasm. And, you know, that's... Well, apparently they do, pseudobastics. They have dreams. They have dreams of ghosts fucking them because that's how horny they are.
They've simply given up on human dating, women going their own way. This theme of the perfect man being a ghost also appears in music. Madonna dropped the song Supernatural as a B-side to her 1989 song Cherish. In the song, Madonna sings about how her ghost lover is way better than any living guy, and she'd even have his ghost baby. And don't mix up that song Supernatural with the other song Supernatural, also about fucking a ghost. The one that's by Kesha. Kesha was inspired to write this song after claiming to have had sexual relations with a ghost.
He wasn't a mean ghost, but he was like a slutty ghost. He was like, how do I put this appropriately? He wasn't a mean ghost, but he was a slutty ghost. Yeah. I smoke crack for breakfast. And I don't wash my genitals. I don't know. I just imagine that's the case. Just kind of a hoe.
In a reality TV series, My Crazy Beautiful Life, she even goes as far as to get an exorcist, serious or not, to stop her vagina from being haunted.
Get out of my...
Okay, I actually want to be friends with this bitch. She would be fucking funny. I went from not liking her to liking her. She's telling the ghost to get out of her vagina. She would be so much fun to hang out with. You'd have to be drunk though. You would have to be drunk to hang out with her. But
Vagina. Get out of there.
Okay, so either my vagina is haunted or I'm pregnant with a ghost baby.
Unlike Madonna, she doesn't want a ghost baby, which apparently it's a thing that can happen, but you can't bring the ghost baby to full term. So it's kind of like this one manga that I read on 4chan back in the day. There's a bunch like this, but the one I remember, this chick gets pregnant and she just stays pregnant forever. And there's this like last panel where you see the back of her, she turns around and she's old with a throbbing, eternally pregnant belly. Kesha has told these sex stories to multiple outlets.
Go to the Bone Zone with a ghost.
But then in 2022, while doing promotion for her paranormal reality show, Kesha admitted that she might have embellished the story a little bit. You see, she actually didn't bone a ghost dude as she had originally said. She wasn't bouncing on the ghost cock. No, you see, the ghost wasn't a dude. It was a dead broad, fucking whore, and it wasn't sex. It was, as she described, a sensual wake-up. No comment on if it grabbed the brush and put a little makeup. Speaking of a sensual wake-up though, how about that one scene from Ghostbusters? The one where it pops open Dan Aykroyd's pants. Based on a true story, apparently. Dan Aykroyd, in real life actually an ardent believer in the supernatural, claims to have experienced.
Oh yeah, he has that Crystal Skull vodka. He has Crystal Skull vodka, and it's really expensive, and I wanted it for my birthday one year because it's in a Crystal Skull bottle, and I just thought that was cool, but it was like over $100 for vodka. Fuck off, mate. Anyway, he actually believes like in those crystal skulls that like talk and shit. I got that from a JonTron video, didn't you? No, I wanted the skull vodka because I love vodka and I'm a goth girl. Anyway, it's very overpriced, so fuck that.
Experienced several encounters with ghosts, some of the sexy variety.
Hi.
Fucked a ghost? I think I was being come on to there, but anyway,
Dan Aykroyd fucked a ghost.
And then in another interview with Esquire magazine, Dan elaborates on one of the ghost encounters. I was alone in the house and decided to take a nap. I closed the door to the bedroom but didn't lock it. I woke up in this kind of trance, where you don't know whether you're sleeping or not. It's what the abductee feels when he's being taken. I saw the door open, and I rolled over and looked at the bed.
Oh, you're such a Queenslander, Pseudomastics. Do you convince yourself that Bundy tastes good? God bless. God bless. I shouldn't be mean to Pseudomastics because Pseudomastics, you are my favorite Queenslander. I will say that. I will say that. I don't have a visceral hatred for you. I consider you a friend. And that is a very big step for me. That is a very big step for me. I would 100% pick you up from the airport. I would do friend activities. Do I actually know any other Queenslanders? I know a lot of Queenslanders, Pseudomastics. I know a lot of Queenslanders. I probably know about 30 Queenslanders. And you are the only one that I like. So congratulations. I also have friends that are New South Welsh that moved to Queensland because it's the only place they could afford to buy a house.
And I saw the depression in the mattress, like somebody was getting in there. And I thought, I'm just going to roll over and snuggle up next to it. You spooned a ghost? Yeah, maybe that guy was gay and he wanted to have some fun. I'd be surprised if I was his type, but when you're dead, take what you can get. And the real-life Ghostbusters sex story don't end with just Dan Aykroyd. Here's Bobby Brown, who sang the track On Our Own from the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack, and now this track is, by the way, horribly stuck in my head. Anyway, here he is talking about being molested by a ghost.
There's a story in the book, it's hard to ask it, about you having sex with a ghost.
Oh boy, yeah. But this was at a time when I was filming Ghostbusters.
And you had sex with the ghost of the
Yes. Well, I had no choice. I was mounted.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I guess if you're involved with Ghostbusters, some...
As Pseudomastic says, guys, consent is sexy. Just because you're a ghost and, you know, technically you can't be bound by the laws of the corporeal flesh people, it doesn't mean that you should still go around doing things like that to people that they haven't consented to, okay? Think about your life. Think about your choices. I know your life ended, but, like, you know, think about your choices. You know, that's not okay.
Something strange is going to happen in your neighborhood. Busting makes you feel good. But, you know, some people are just in it for the ghost sex. They need a little bit more out of life. Like a British singer named Brocard. She married a Victorian ghost named Eduardo, who she described as devilishly handsome. You'd think this was a relationship built to last. I mean, who are you to doubt Eduardo? He's a ghost. It's not like he's got anywhere else to be. And as a ghost, you probably don't have that many options. You know, a lot of guys talk about how they feel invisible in the modern dating climate. But Eduardo is literally invisible. But somehow, despite the obstacles, Eduardo still managed to be a cheater. And he did that cheating with Marilyn Monroe.
On our wedding day, he made really, really inappropriate comments about spotting the ghost of Marilyn Monroe in the church. And as you can imagine on your wedding day, your groom sort of turning around and making a rude comment about anyone, any female, anyone at all.
It could have been the perfect crime.
Are you what? I like that she hurt her own feelings. I like that she made up this entire narrative to hurt herself. It's like, I made up a ghost husband and then I made up him like creeping on Marilyn Monroe. It was like, she hurt herself in confusion.
Because, you know, who on this mortal coil talks to Ghost Marilyn Monroe? She can't exactly post about him on the T app. But Brocard wasn't fooled when Eduardo floated in smelling like Marilyn Monroe's favorite perfume, Chanel No. 5. According to her website, the couple tried to make it work. She hired a spiritual medium to provide marriage counseling, but 6 months later, ghost divorce. Now she can spend her time with her coven of witches traveling to Wacken Open Air to conduct a special seance in memory of Lemmy from Motorhead, and there's no word on if Ghost Lemmy hit. Age difference, of course, is a common occurrence with ghost hookups. The paranormal lover is generally much, much older, sometimes even centuries older, which I guess is, you know, for the better. It's already more sad when a child dies. But then imagine a child dies and he's all hyped to be one of those creepy ghost kids like from the movies, only to find out that the person he's been assigned to haunt is EDP-445. But then, you know, I guess any ghost hooking up with a human is kind of exploiting a power dynamic because they literally have powers. But yeah, ghost age apps. A reader of 7 Days, Vermont named Casper Knoodler writes, Dear Reverend, I bought an old house 6 months ago. At the closing, the previous owners gave me a photo of the man who built it. The house, which they believe still haunts the place, was built in the 1920s. I've definitely felt his presence here, and lately, I've been having very vivid erotic dreams about him. I'm fine with that, but I'm not sure if they're dreams. Is it possible I've been having sex with a ghost? The Reverend's response? I suppose anything is possible. This isn't the only tale with a 1920s ghost. Just something about the 1920s, it produced extra sexy.
Hey, it was the roaring 20s for a reason. People were being flappers and slappers out there, okay? They were being flappers and slappers. They were doing the drugs. They were doing the fornicating. They were doing the partying. Yeah. So if you were going to be a slutty ghost, you would definitely, you know, before the Wall Street crash, before, you know, the depression kicked off, you would definitely be out there getting your fucking jollies on. They went harder. They went harder than some modern era party girls. Come on.
Dead guys. We've got this story from Slate Magazine. My friend thinks she's having sex with a
Delta, I don't care about your history of kink, right? Until you have some real life until you learn how to have sex like a normal person, I'm not interested.
Ghost. A ghost named John from the 1920s. A reader of their sex advice column sends a message explaining that during COVID lockdowns, he'd been speaking to a friend from across the country who said she'd been pleasuring herself thinking of a man who lived in her apartment.
Look, it's fine. It's fine to read a lot about kinks or a lot about whatever, but until you've got the hours of field research, okay? How would you even dirty talk a ghost? Oh, you're so dirty. I bet that's why you died of dysentery. I bet that's why you shot yourself to death.
In the 1920s. At first, he thinks this is like, you know, a fantasy of hers. She's just getting off to something she imagined. You know, it's kind of like some guys will fantasize about the random cashier they saw at Trader Joe's that day, but for women, it's dead guys from paintings. She later clarifies, though, no, this isn't a fantasy. She means the actual ghost of a man who's there in her apartment with her as she quarantines alone. And she starts talking to him about John more. John said this. John did this. John is having a bad day. Then as the months go on and things start to open back up, she starts talking about meeting up with an old fling, and she's worried that John will get jealous. She also starts posting about John on social media. All of her real-life friends are seeing this and they're asking, hey, did she start dating someone new? Basically, this guy had written...
Does she need to go on psychiatric medication? Perhaps.
The advice column to find out if he should be concerned about his friend's mental health. To which they responded he should ask a question to kind of gauge how serious they are about this. If she's aware of how ridiculous this sounds, and if she's been taking any kind of psychedelic drugs. And of course, this wouldn't be the only lockdown ghost sex story. Historically, ghost sex has been attributed to entities like succubi and incubi. But in fact, it seemed like the COVID-19 lockdowns correlated with a major increase in ghost busting. You know, people talk about long COVID, but these chicks they were getting the real long COVID. On May 14th, 2020, the New York Times published...
This guy has my sense of humor, and I appreciate that, because in my personal opinion, my sense of humor is the best sense of humor. And obviously everyone in chat agrees, because they keep on coming back to hear my ramblings, to hear my nonsensical ramblings. So there you go.
An article entitled, Quarantining with Ghosts. It's scary. For those who believe they're locked down with spectral roommates, the pandemic has been less isolating than they bargained for. The article details the stories of several people who claim to be seeing ghosts in their apartments during lockdown. They speak to John L. Tenney from the show Ghost Stalkers, who noticed an increase in reported hauntings since the lockdown. He noted that he'd seen a similar surge during the Y2K panic, but he also noted that a likely explanation is now that these people are spending a lot more time alone at home, they're noticing all the sounds that a house normally makes that they just hadn't been aware of. Bricks and woods expanding as the temperature changes. It's not that the house wasn't making those sounds.
You're all figments of my imagination. I'm not a streamer. I'm in a coma. Thank you, Pseudomastics. Thank you. Thank you for leading me. Should I walk towards the light? I can see a light. Should I walk towards it, Pseudomastics? Do I walk towards or away from the light, Pseudomastics? I need to know. Please tell me.
They just never had the time to notice it. Still, even if these people are imagining the hauntings, there's nothing imaginary about busting a fat nut. And in the loneliness of quarantine, a lot of people pined for it. You can see this in a couple stories published to The Cut by writer Amanda Arnold. She described reading that New York Times article and feeling a little jealous. In particular, she was touched by a story where one of the haunted people woke up to a camera lens that she had previously lost and couldn't find. A gift from a friendly ghost. She concludes the article by saying, "Actually, let me extend a formal invitation to all lonesome ghosts without a place to call home. The walls of my apartment are yours to pass through. If ghosts are bothering humans more than usual right now, which appears to be the case, as reports of haunted houses are apparently on the rise, that must mean the ghosts are lonely and looking for company too." But it was clear that the isolation was gradually taking a toll on poor Amanda. As a couple months later, she published, "A ghost is a perfect quarantine sex partner. I'm just picturing the ghost comes to haunt and it's scared off by this ravenous woman, gone mad after being denied sex for half a year by the government." To be fair, in the article she clarifies that she doesn't necessarily believe in ghosts and she's not like desperate to fuck a ghost, but rather that if you did fuck a ghost, it's about as safe as it gets. Katie Heaney and Ariana Raboli for the website BuzzFeed would recount their own paranormal one-night stand, even following the professional advice given to them on how to attract and seduce a ghost into hooking up with them. How to make sure that, while doing something dangerous like this, you don't accidentally attach a succubus to you. But basically, ladies, if you want to attract a ghost to fuck, you gotta dress a little sexy, not like, you're just lounging around your house. However, there are professional paranormal scholars providing this kind of advice to people. After moving to the US from Hong Kong, Dr. Ben Hung published A Guide to Ghost Sex. Although something about Ben's Amazon biography tells me he may not actually be a doctor in the traditional sense. Next to a picture of his bare chest, he tells us that he likes to jet ski in the nude, and he once used his book royalties to buy his mother a 99-cent hamburger.
Ben Hung is hung, guys. Ben Hung is hung. Look up your daughters. Look up your sons. Ben Hung is hung and he's coming. He's coming to town.
The good doctor's other published works include Becoming the Night's Bitch. Gay zombies are stalking me. There's a ghost up my butt. Robotic aliens who like wearing women's underwear. Napoleon Bonaparte. Oh my fucking god. Somebody help me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I would actually date Ben Hung. Even if he's not hung, I would still date him because I think he would be so funny to hang out with. Holy shit. I love these two. Boner party. Elvis really is an alien and he helped a toaster pastry seduce me. He might actually be onto something when it comes to Elvis. Paz de la Huerta from Boardwalk Empire in 2011 claimed she got an orgasm in Graceland from Ghost Elvis. It was like Elvis was tickling me with a feather. Honestly, more believable than Hulk Hogan's Elvis story. So what do people actually feel when they get intimate with spirits? According to celebrity interviews and talk show conventions, they feel intense pressure.
When I feel anything on your body,
I did. I felt a form.
And in Brocard's experience, a burning sensation.
And it passed really, really slowly throughout my stomach, all the way down my legs, like this sort of burning.
And they woke up feeling refreshed.
She got the ghost clap. She got ghost chlamydia, guys.
Beautifully. I woke up and...
Maybe better than ever?
Pretty good.
The hosts of these shows, while struggling to appear non-judgmental, Ask, so, do you feel something or is this just a mood change? What do you mean you gave up real lovers to get them a bunch of ghost hookups? There's always someone going, I swear I'm not crazy, while the hosts are barely hiding, rolling their eyes.
You had sex with a ghost?
A ghost, yeah. I wasn't high.
That was my next question.
Oprah does a better job pretending that she's interviewing a real...
Placebo have an album called Sleeping with Ghosts, so they did it first. They did it first, though. Oh, Brian Molko's like the original little androgynous twink. He had lots of 90s men and women very confused about their sexuality. Meow.
Ninja Turtle, then going along with the idea that this woman hooked up with a ghost.
I was in the midst of a very intensive sexual experience.
When it comes to their sexual experience, it's all about the vibe from the spirit. Give me a sense of warmth, cold, love, or just...
Delta, I will tell you what, I am a fan of all the different types of men in all the different races, of all the, like, I like everyone. Everyone is hot. Unless they're not hot, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Feel plain invasive. However, not always consistent. It may just feel like an energy passing through you, or it's an unseen grip and pressure on you, as if it were invisible. No two stories seem the same, leading to a lot of skepticism. Ghost researcher Alexandra Holzer told the Huffington Post that the people who report having sex with a ghost report feeling pressure on them and even penetration, but ghosts don't have warmth. When they're in the room, it's a frigid environment. And honestly, a lot of ghost sex stories seem kinda rapey. Coco Austin, the wife of Ice-T, talked about a ghost that tried to lift up her nightie. Kinda like that old Japanese trend, sharking. Cardi B is on record saying that a ghost had been trying to have sex with her.
I'm so alone in this house with this fucking ghost that clearly wants to...
Okay, guys, I don't know Cardi B's music, but I've seen her, like, in court. I love Cardi B. She is the funniest fucking person ever. She is... she's amazing. I love her. I want to be her friend. I never thought that I would, like, really like somebody like her, but, she is so good. She is so funny. I want to be her best friend. I love her.
Fuck me, because he only comes around when I'm here and by myself, and I'm just gonna call my security guard to put me in a fucking hotel because I just can't fucking take it anymore, bitch.
According to folklorist David Hufford, 15% of people claim to have been assaulted in their sleep by an unknown ghost-like entity. Typically, the ghost will force itself on the sleeping and or dreaming individual. Most people who report ghost sex feel violated and cold. The 1982 movie The Entity was inspired by the 1974 real-life case of Doris Bither, a woman in Culver City, California, who claimed a supernatural invisible entity assaulted her. This person also had a history of drug abuse and physical abuse. You got an Irish woman named Amanda Teague. In 2014, Amanda, who worked as a Jack Sparrow impersonator, would encounter the ghost of a 300-year-old Haitian pirate named Jack. A likely name for a 300-year-old Haitian to have. And she told People magazine that with the help of a medium, she'd learn more about Jack. Particularly that while he was alive, he'd been left at the altar, and he was executed for thievery. Over the course of 6 months, the recently divorced mother of 5 found herself falling in love with the Haitian ghost. Eventually, her relationship with the Haitian...
I think we're getting a picture of what pseudomastic's type in women is. He said something about Kim Kardashian the other day. Now he says stuff about Cardi B. I think we're getting a picture. He likes them thick. He likes them thick. He likes those thick asses.
pirate gets more intense. Jack fills her up with his ectoplasm. Well, as a traditional Irish lass, Amanda demands more. Growing up in Ireland, in my era, you were taught that if a man bedded you, he should wed you, she says. I knew from my research that spiritual marriage was a thing, so it was more me that wanted to get married than him. He would have been happy like most men with just sex. I'm just picturing this scenario, and don't take this as me saying that all Irish people are racist, because I know that's not true, but I'm just imagining she starts talking to her friends about this. As she tells them that she's getting married, and
it's unfair. They're just conventionally attractive women, and you're not supposed to like thick women? No, you should like thick women. You should like whoever you like. I'm not shaming you, pseudomastics. I was just making a joke, sorry. I was just being silly. And look, it's just that you mentioned 2 women who are like the same body type. That's all. That's all. You are entitled to like whoever you are without judgment.
To a 300-year-old Haitian pirate ghost. And they're just like, wait, what? You're getting married? To a Haitian? But fortunately for her, her friends weren't like that, and they participated in a lovely wedding ceremony, even including the Haitian wedding tradition of jumping over a broom. And although she was lucky to have supportive friends and family, she was a bit taken aback at how the general public reacted to this. The reaction I got is quite shocking, really, she says. But apparently, we are not yet open-minded enough in society to accept relationships between us and other realms. She would later go on the BBC program, The Morning Studio, to talk about how Jack tried to kill her. Can't trust the ghost of a 300-year-old Haitian.
What the heck?
Pirate. Who can you trust? Anyway, this wraps up our exploration of ghost hookups. If you like this video, turn on notifications and check out my video.
If someone were to attend your ghost wedding, they're not your friend. Pseudomastics, if you decide that you want to marry a ghost, and it doesn't have to be the ghost of a thick woman, okay? It can be whoever you're attracted to. No judgments here. And you invite me to your ghost wedding, I will even lose my Queensland virginity and cross the border into Queensland to come to your wedding. That's how much I value your friendship, Pseudomastics. That's how much I value your friendship, just so you know. Yeah, I'll officiate your marriage. I'll officiate the fuck out of your marriage.
About the haunted eBay painting. I'm out.
All right, guys, I am still feeling under the weather, so I'm gonna finish the stream here so I can come back tonight. But yeah. Whatever you're into, guys, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. We're all friends here. There's no reason, you know, there's no reason to to feel ashamed. Meow. See you next time. We'll see you guys tonight, actually. Bye.